Yeah.
Take one.
Hey everybody, welcome back to shooting a short film on film, day 2 or part 2 of a 4-part series. Stay to the end of this video to find out. One of the craziest things that happened of all of our 4 days was day 2. If you haven't seen the first one by chance, I recommend going back to that one here and watching that because there are some things that will cross over into this one. Shooting a short film on 16mm film was a dream my brother and I had for a very long time. Now we're actually out doing it, right? We're in the middle of Montana for my film called Lone Mountain. That's where we're at right now. Let's talk about some of the goals we had for the day. A lot of things went wrong for day 1, as that's kind of typically the case. Long story short, we were significantly behind.
We were, at the end of it all, able to get the majority of the shots that we needed. It was kind of like drinking out of a fire hose. There was a lot happening, a lot of kind of unexpected turns that we didn't account for, and a lot of other things that didn't necessarily pan out, how we wanted. I was really sort of worried about day 2 because we had some really big scenes, and just seeing how long it took to get certain setups and shots, I was really worried because we had a campfire scene in day 2. We had a lot of other big moments and sequences that we were shooting that I didn't exactly know how it was all going to work out.
If things go wrong on day 1 and you have such a short shooting schedule like we had with our limited budget and limited time, then those things kind of will domino to have more issues and more problems, and then just the film kind of runs away from you. And that's what we didn't want to have happen.
I woke up after 2 hours of sleep because I had to reschedule everything for the next day in order to get us back on track.
We had 18 scenes to get through, which sounds an impossible amount. In the case, we were doing a lot of cross-cutting, so I think those scenes are probably half of that more. We had somewhere between north of 40 shots that day, which is double on day 1.
Was it I heard that it's oh yeah, you can tell what tribe you are, with facial hair. It's usually you're Apache.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
That's pretty awesome.
It's a hot shooter.
Can you take this off?
Hey, show us what you're gonna do.
All right, so we're doing practical everything on the set. Practical sun, practical film, practical real authentic 1800s man we brought back.
Barely.
We don't use any 3D scans.
No 3D scans here. We're just using a magnet, and we're controlling our spindle. Isn't that cool?
Is that light left us, or is it just
On that close up, we're gonna have to be
Yeah, right.
Remember on Pocahontas?
Yes.
That's the Pocahontas
spinning
thing.
compass.
The spinning compass. And it goes brink at the end.
I will tell camera why compass is going crazy.
Yeah. Oh, in the story?
Yeah.
Yeah. So something is leading our character along the way. It's he's trying to get back home, and something keeps diverting him. So
Let's go ahead and give that one.
Clever.
yeah, that doesn't matter.
Not take down the pen yet. I'll just wait for your command. Cool. Yeah, I'll just read it wherever they're at. We'll just be quick on. Again, this is a half stop.
There's this aspect with shooting on film to where shooting becomes a very sacred experience because it's limited. When you're working with digital, you have as much time as your battery or your terabyte hard drives allow. With film stock, it's not that way, especially because we were initially guaranteed to have 8 rolls of film, so we were only working on half of the allotted reels that we were anticipating.
Day 1, we didn't see it come through. I was hoping by the time tomorrow, by the end of day, maybe miraculously it does come through. I could call my wife and have one of my team members come run it up the next day. We were just hoping that the film gods would kind of bestow upon us, and they would just come in the last minute and save the day, and we would have more film and we wouldn't have to worry about it as much. Day 2 rolled along. Still no film stock has shown up on my doorstep when it should have been there 4 days ago.
Take one.
Action. Cut.
Very quickly on the first day, I noticed that we were burning a lot of film with our slating.
That's the moment when you have Slate up in front of the camera and it waits there until, you know, we have sound speeding and then we have camera speeding and then we call and then you do the little clap and then you move off frame and then you wait for the camera to be set and then you call action and then that's when the scene plays out.
And I do think that we burned a lot of precious film that we probably didn't need to burn with all of the slating that we did. Now I understand, I wasn't worrying about the edit, I wasn't worrying about syncing it all up later. I was really worried about just having enough film to complete the thing, and I was like, we can figure out how to sync it up, and it might be a pain, it might take days, but at least we'll have this film shot.
I figured out, okay, if we're gonna get the best performance out of Dave, we can't waste film trying to get it. And so on day 2, we really started incorporating rehearsals.
And this was the balance that was really hard to play for me as a director, is because there's something really magical about a first take, even like for a first rehearsal, because it's so spontaneous, it's so natural at times, and that's sometimes some of my favorite takes are the first takes. What we decided to do was to do more rehearsals as opposed to doing more takes. The Revenant was shot digitally. However, they had kind of a moment where they had to consider the time of day. So they would rehearse for the majority of the day, and then when it was golden hour, they had a lot fewer takes.
We have windows of 1.5 hours to shoot very complex scenes with hundreds of extras. So it was like a theater play, and all the actors embraced that technique.
I kind of thought we needed to do that for this. So we decided day 2 to take that same approach where we were going to rehearse some more, and then we would roll when we felt like we really had it. And then we had everyone's attention on that one take. And we try to get it in one. We would allow ourselves to have another take or 2, but hopefully if we loved it and we all liked it watching it on the monitor, we could move on to conserve film as well as to just move quickly through the day.
Cut. If anything that you could think of saying. Yeah, I was gonna say at least a spot would be nice. Hey, Alex, guess what? Are we really? Alright.
That was probably too hot then.
It was.
Through the
stop over. That's why I wanted to do the control even now.
And I really like how it looks.
The hot spots are getting pretty hot.
Yeah, there's that one. You see that like hot spot right on the tent, like in the middle of it? What's that at?
Let's go ahead and get picture up sound.
Sounds great.
Camera.
Here's good.
Slate.
Scene 3, take 1.
And settle on set.
Action.
That's a cut.
Dude.
Sam is here. She's our actress, and for day 1, you maybe have noticed her. I'm so grateful that she was willing to kind of act as a crew member on the days that she wasn't shooting, because she doesn't have very many scenes. We were going to start her day that night, which is exciting. And with that kind of same note, that leads us to problem number 2 we were facing very early on this production. It was due to the fact of, it was me, really. We didn't have our commander-in-chief with the props, which was Jordan. Right, Jordan Wood was unable to be there, and pretty quickly as we were moving through the scenes, we realized we had one of our hero props was missing. It was we could not find it. We had Jed's vial with gold flecks in it, and Jordan had created this actual prop, and it was beautifully done. It was the perfect bottle, like it was exactly what we wanted, and he had handed that to me in a box of other props that I had, and for some reason that baggie with the gold leaf, with the dust, and with a couple other items that were important for this prop were missing. Jessica, our art director at the time, actually found another bottle that we had that they had at Novavento, and we had to makeshift a new gold bottle.
I really hope you can. Yeah, I mean, because you guys are on location, I should have left some extra gold lace paper with you guys.
I think
You did. There was extra gold.
and now that's gone too.
that was with the gold.
Yeah,
You know?
we just can't
So it's
find
that baggie.
any of the gold
Would that
stuff.
read
I don't
in the
know.
dirt?
Okay, we'll keep looking.
What is it?
All right, thanks.
now you know how Jed feels.
You guys have seen it.
Maybe. Let me see it.
Mix that with the dirt?
Maybe.
Yeah, every time it's
Throw something silver.
do some. Yeah, I mean, it's
shine,
going to
it's shine to it.
Yeah.
Let's throw it in. Let's see.
Well, but if it doesn't work, then we ruin that dirt. Can we try it into, something else first?
Okay. All right. We'll keep looking. Thanks, dude.
And none of the baggies have your.
This is why it was so important to have my boy Jordan there, and it was really rough. And all of the hundreds of things I was trying to figure out and get done on the day 1 and 2, that prop just slipped through the cracks. And that is, and that wasn't the only thing that we had problems with prop wrangling. And if not one person's assigned to that for accountability, then no one's gonna have accountability on that. And that's where things happen. We ended up saying for all the actors, just keep your props on your person. We struggled with the whole 4 days of shooting.
Yeah.
Cool.
I did a lot of spray paint. Okay. Something's different. It looks shinier.
What's it like being the bad guy on set, Derek?
I like to think of myself more as an anti-hero.
That's good.
Okay, we ready? Let's get sliding, Jordan.
Just don't mess this one up, okay?
We have picture up, sound is speeding, and let's get slide in. Jordan, you can back up a little bit. Come with this way, start it up. Good. And camera. Come speed, slate.
32, take 1.
Set. Action. Cut that.
In the first video, we mentioned how we just took whatever they had for free that they're donating to us, and it was an ASA of 200T, so it's kind of equivalent of a 200 ISO. That's a pretty slow ISO if you think about it.
Is that too
and our
fast?
glass wasn't very fast, so we were kind of seeing a lot of issues. The forest was beautifully lit. It was super soft naturally, but it was almost too dark. And with film, you have to be sure you have enough light to expose your image, or else you have a lot of grain and it's not going to work out.
Best roommates ever.
We were discussing the idea of pushing a couple stops so that we could have more light. Because we knew we were going to be going into these night scenes that are going to be really dark, and being at 200 stock was going to be even harder to achieve and get the amount of light that we wanted while still being able to see ambience and other elements of the scene.
No, 200T, same thing.
Well, I think you can still push the entire. Well, the tent and the hot spot. Besides that, I think you can just push one stop.
It's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, your key is exposed here. It's the shadows you're worried about.
Yeah.
And so this is 2 stops under being lifted on her skin tone.
So we made the decision with the 4th roll to push it 2 stops. So that basically takes you from 200 to 800. And so I felt a lot better about being in that canopy with that light going down, knowing that we were essentially exposing for 2 extra stops, which is a great thing about film.
We're raising the exposure overall, and it will end up being a little more grainy. Imagine like more noise in your sensor. It's kind of the same deal.
I'd never pushed film ever. I was hoping not to because I just didn't want to risk anything, but we were going to push it 2 stops, and it was amazing. I started getting readings of the area, and all of a sudden, it's a little easier to expose for. So a lot of people think that you're stuck with that ASA number, which is true. Like, once you start filming on that roll, you need to stick with whatever it is you shot. Because if you shot 200 earlier and now you're trying to expose for 800, that 200 is going to be affected. You can at least push it within the development process.
So I'm just putting our reel in here from earlier today that we shot. It was 1 shot worth from today. And I'm just unloading it, and then we're going to load up the next one so we have more to shoot.
Ricky, I'm 2 stops slow on this cell phone footage. Can you bring in a light? What's the biggest challenge for film versus digital?
I think it's the mystery of film. I mean, you just don't really know what you're getting. It's kind of, you're going blind the whole time.
So I would say that's the biggest thing.
What are you doing right now?
Right now I'm taking off the core from the mag and I'm gonna put it in the can. Oof, this always stresses me out. This is like, cause yeah, I've had a bad experience for the first time I got this it all unspooled, but there's all of our film. Seems like it's 400 feet worth. So that's
Your take on the film, this film process, using film.
So I got my minor in photography, so, you know, several years in high school, in the dark room. Like one of the cast, you know, one of the crew members earlier was like, oh, it'd be so much faster if it was digital. And it's like, not exactly, because if you're digital, then you do a lot more takes, you know? And if it's film, then you don't, but you can rehearse more. So it's kind of sixes, but the thing that I like about, as far as time goes, but the thing that I like about film a lot is that you're a lot more intentional with everything that you do.
Would you do it again as a, tell me your role.
Executive producer and composer. Yeah, I would do it again.
I'm Nancy Mullen. I'm department head of HMU, and I'm working on our beautiful Sam tonight. We're going to create an 1860s look. I'm keeping her really dewy, really natural. She's going to be by the campfire and in this man's dreams.
As the day moved forward, honestly, I felt like we were in a groove. We started to really hit our rhythm. We were getting our flow.
Dave was feeling good about his performance. I think Tanner and Alex were feeling good about what they were capturing.
I think we're going to catch up, actually. I think we're going to get most of all these shots that we were planning on getting until we had another major setback happen.
As we were entering into one of Dave's climactic emotional scenes,
literally right after we had blocked it, we had rehearsed it, we had lit, and we were ready to literally roll the camera, when suddenly out of nowhere we heard through the tree line,
our hair and makeup artist sprints onto set and screams, "Could we get security here?"
And Derek was like, "What security?" It was the first thing we both thought, but I think she was trying to like make it seem like we had someone coming.
And so our executive producer Jordan Roper just boom, like bolts it towards the road.
I finally hear that there's this local lady who is harassing her and Sam, screaming obscenities at them, acting very aggressive toward them.
So one bit of background we should have is we were shooting on the Flathead Native American Reservation up near Polson Lake in Montana. And so because of that, we went through the tribal council, got all the necessary permits to be able to shoot on Native American land. And the woman who had come out of her car was pretty clearly drunk, was also Native American, and was just cussing every sort of obscenity at us. And I look over and I see Sam, our actress, on the phone with the police. Look further ahead to see a woman who had gotten out of her car and was now screaming at Travis and Jordan.
Travis is over there recording, filming, you know, the whole exchange going on.
You have a problem with me?
No, we just want to film our thing.
We're just shooting the film.
Stay away.
Well, what are you doing? You have a problem with me? Let's
No,
do
we
it.
don't. But if
You do, though.
No,
you do. You want to fight with me?
No, I don't.
You do. Guess what? I have it all on camera, too.
Okay, good.
Awesome, thank you. We really appreciate it.
White
Sorry.
We don't want you here. We don't.
Okay.
We're aware, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.
She gets in her car and kind of zips on her way out of there. And right as we're kind of like back to where we were at the campsite, suddenly I hear again the sound of a car coming right through back on that dirt road toward our grip truck and where Travis and Jordan were.
And then I just remember seeing this car come cruising down at a fast pace, coming past us, people yelling, get out of the road.
I heard a crash day one. I had still had PTSD from that accident happening. And what made me most terrified of all, to find one of these dear friends of mine, this family now that we've created together, getting hurt from this person. The scariest moment, praying, hoping that people are safe behind the fence line and that she's not able to hurt anyone.
So finally the police arrive. The police officers were asking, okay, so what was the make and model of her vehicle? What does she look like? And we hear this driving. coming down the road, all right? The same drunken woman from before is driving past us, now in the passenger seat, holds up both fingers, and proceeds to cuss out the police before her accomplice peels them out.
Putting us off, cussing at us or whatever. And we were like, oh, that's her. That's the girl right there in the passenger seat. And the 2 policemen took off. So I think we're in good shape.
Awesome. Well, it's a smart move on her part.
I know. She saw the 2 cops there. She's got to be under the influence of something.
Oh, well, that was obvious. Yeah.
Absolutely bizarre. If there hadn't been enough weird things already at that point, man, this has got some weird, we got some weird omen going on right now. I don't know what's up, but it was wild.
This has not only derailed production and put us behind an hour or two, but now our actors are just feeling really crummy about themselves too.
I let them both know, as well as everyone on set. I don't want anyone to feel like they're unsafe. I don't want anyone to feel like they're uncomfortable. And I don't want anyone to feel like they have to do something that's against their will or something they just don't feel good about.
We gathered everybody around. We just had a conversation and saying, okay, this woman has just gone to tribal prison for the night. It's all okay, and we're in a safe position now because the police are aware. So let's go ahead and do this. And after that, I went and talked to Dave and felt so bad because Dave just didn't even look at me, and he said, I've just got to shove my feelings down and do the scene.
He just felt for her. He really felt like, she must have been in a bad place to behave that way. I continued to kind of work with him and talk to him and just keep an open dialogue. And then the moment came in time, he's like, I think I'm ready to do this scene. I think I'm gonna have to just kind of bottle it up and let's do it. I'm gonna have to do it.
No.
That's a cut. Okay, let's move to the other.
Where it's just being left alone.
Yeah, in fact, there's a part that really went well. We loved is that the searchy realization before the breakdown happened when you realized the photo was gone. Was, Derek and Jordan both said that was like they loved that moment and they wanted. So I'm glad we got it. I'm glad. I mean, my only fear is that we're gonna go back and be like, man, I wish we had like 4 takes for everything, But honestly, this is the style of this film we're doing. It's very
more than enough.
Yeah, this style of this film is like we're not even sure what we're painting yet, And that's what I love about it is that we don't even see what we're getting in the can, We can't. We have to totally develop it, and so that's kind of what I love. This style, like we rehearse and we go for it, and it's like, wow, we're seeing it for the first time.
Yeah,
it's really exciting.
I'm excited for you guys.
Oh man, I can't wait to see how this comes through.
Happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, you're the best. Campfire.
Yeah, so, I mean, he doesn't obviously have a tent.
We can have him sit by that tree right over here, maybe?
So, yeah, so the question is where he's going to be sitting. So
in the tent, right?
Yes.
He is.
Let's have him start doing that.
Okay, let's go get him right now.
When we had,
they're not on one.
So when I'm thinking of using those 2 different angles. One angle is on the tree, one angle is in the tent. And I think on the tent is when he's doing that. That's what I'm thinking. You agree with that?
Cool.
That he's like, I love the idea of him being underneath that like protection, so to speak, in this like sanctuary of his, and he sees the worst thing he sees this entire film. Whereas here, it's more like, I'm not sure at this campsite yet. I haven't really accepted that I'm here, I'm living here. I'm kind of on the outskirts, not going to mess anything up. And I just kind of feel like his character.
First and second time he's there.
Yes, he's here.
Great. Cool.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
And then, so for when he's writing in his journal, where do you want that? Should that be under the tent
maybe like in the tent as well, yeah. We can put that in the tent too.
Okay.
And then, it's just the journal. So we have the first 2 times at night, photo or flex, and then photo.
And so keep in mind
the
here,
chest, right.
the only thing you have here is he doesn't have an eye line in the chest.
Right.
Are we game to shoot all of our wides and then shoot all of our mediums?
What wines do we have for the campsite stuff?
But before we do that, let's ask, so eye line, because that's going to inform that decision.
Right. Okay.
And I mean, he can play it off
Can
very
we cheat it a bit?
performance-wise.
We cheat it. We like it looks that way, and then it's like boom, chest. Would that read okay?
Like that. Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and get in the frame of how we're going to do this.
That looks good.
We had a break, came back later to figure out our night shoot.
When we did the concept short, we shot the fire sequences in the back of my grandparents' cabin. The majority of the scene was naturally lit, and so coming into this one, having resources and people available to help light this actually, it was really exciting. And this is something that I had a very specific look in mind. And I remember sharing some images with Joseph, and we collaborated for a little while. It was actually a chance to light something. I mean, everything had been lit, and of course we were trying to control light. And for the majority, it was, you know, only so much you can do. You're in an exterior in a forest. But this was a moment that we actually got to sit down and try to paint with light. And it was really exciting.
So we're just getting ready to shoot these campfire scenes. It's been a great experience sitting here and not having to move all these lights. And the light looks freaking awesome. We got a little spot here. So our actor, Dave's gonna go.
Where Ricky's at right now.
And we're gonna. If we get flicker, it'll be from the natural light, I think. And that's kind of how I like it. So I want subtle. I don't want a lot of flicker.
Let's go check the frame. Let's go check the frame.
Oh, wait, I left the gap tape on the...
Excuse me? You're looking about...
Right now, Dave, you're looking about here.
Okay, this is gonna be ripped. I'll keep looking at it.
Got fire wrangler here / executive producer.
When he asked me to build a fire, I put another $3,000 into the case.
I'll push this down a little.
Dude,
I feel like
well
we're getting
done.
some sort of white light coming from somewhere. Where is that coming from? Thanks. Okay, you want to see that flicker effect? Do you want the script?
And so with that, it's kind of fun when you're thinking, but I think in a moment comes where you watch you just your eyes and suddenly you're down.
And one thing too that the script says is he does put it into his pack nearby him. So we want that kind of in frame of him stuffing in the foreground.
What if we had it just next to him, like on the OTF?
Okay, and we need to get
those here.
What's up, dude?
Is Ricky going back to the group chat?
The time came for Sam Torres to do her debut for the film for us, and her first time on set, in character. And this scene is kind of a haunting sequence, and she's supposed to be sobbing on camera. I was a little nervous because this was probably the most intense emotional scene, that and the one that obviously Dave did earlier that day, that I had ever directed before and written and been part of a project of mine. So I was like a little timid to be like, okay, how am I gonna like get her there? Or how much this is gonna be hopefully a good lesson I could talk about later on a video. Maybe if I screw it up, then I'll learn from that. And the really cool thing about working with really good actors is she instilled in me confidence that she was going to nail the scene. And I didn't want to get in the way, but I was kind of telling her, like, here's how we're going to do it. Here's how the scene's going to play out. He's going to look up, and then across the flames, you're going to be there, and he's going to see you. We're going to have this moment where he's going to push on you. But she says, I think I can get there quickly if you want me to. And I was like, if you're okay with that, Sam, I say we go hard with your emotions. We get you crying, you're sobbing. Then we kind of reel it back to do a couple takes where it's like you're almost like at the end of sobbing. You can see I'm like probably not uncomfortably close, but like, I don't know, 3 feet or so away from her, just like sitting next to her. Let me know when you're ready to get there, and then we'll begin. And then she worked herself up to it. She kind of kept building it up and building it up. And very soon she was able to get there emotionally. And then when she was there and I felt like she was going, we did a take, and it turned out great. We have a pretty big fire that we wanted to shoot through, so it's pretty hot. So it was really hard for her to maintain any tears to come down or like any welling up of her eyes, because it was like immediately zapped out of her eyes. So we had to do, luckily our makeup department had some false tears that she was able to kind of wet her eyes with and help kind of stimulate more tears, and then she was able to kind of produce more that way. But that was the only kind of like a little hiccup we had to worry about. And Sam was really good to be like, I don't think I can produce the tears with the fire right now. I think we need to like get me some false tears.
Look at the camera. Keep rolling.
Still rolling. Oh, that's a cut.
Great thing. I loved how it turned out, and when we called cut on that, I just was like, I like hollered. I was so excited what she did, and I just told her like, excellent job. Like you're right. Yeah, we cast correctly. That's always a good moment.
So he starts with both of them.
I'm thinking.
And then
This was just a and
Come get it.
they really, I mean, they had
Come get it. I like that. I'm trying to figure out how we can make it to where is that we're pretty swift to getting them up. Is it like they're what is these ones right here? Like next one.
Oh yeah.
Next one.
Yeah. Okay. And let's keep it quiet on set, everybody.
Ready? Let's start.
I did cut.
No, keep rolling.
Ready?
Yeah. Here, wait. Let's roll sound.
Speeding.
The end of day 2 was crazy stressful because we had, I think, 15 seconds left and we had like 4 shots to get.
So what's been going on today? So we have how much time left to film, Travis? You know how much left we have?
How much time we have
How much left for tonight to finish?
We have 20 minutes.
Right, we have 20 minutes left. We have about a minute of film left before, so we're trying to get back reeling. We have 4 shots, and we have a lighting setup that they've been so smart at getting. Middle of the night, and
no food all day.
No food all day. I'm not that bad of a slave driver.
We have 1 minute.
But we've got
of footage.
Yeah, we're gonna go 1 minute, and yet we're gonna pull it off. We're gonna get it done.
we really don't have any film stock to spare. And we timed the shot and said, okay, how long is this shot? Dave, let's act it out. Ready, action on rehearsal. We timed it. Okay, that shot is 10 seconds. Let's calculate how much film we have left on this reel. We're gonna shoot this in exactly 10 seconds. We can't even afford to slate it.
Action, cut. Get the other set up, action, cut, with no handles on either end. Like, that's all you get with the edit.
And so we were shooting in these little like 10 second, 5 second, 8 second increments just to preserve as much footage as we could before the day ran out.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready to go.
We feeling ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Dave, you ready?
Oh, hey, Travis, can you kind of back it up again a little bit?
Again?
3, 2, 1, action. Cut.
Cut.
Okay.
When you start speaking.
3, 2, 1, action.
Cut. Nice. Got it all in there.
What was it?
It was great.
How many more seconds do I have?
41.
41?
Well, in total we have 41 left. But adding them up.
Let's just say we have like
5.
40 or 30.
Yeah, let's just keep it a little shorter. Just
Let's say 35. 8, 11. Okay, so let's just do a rehearsal for you to see, Alex.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, action. Cut.
That was a little longer. And so that kind of wrapped up our shoot for the day of the 18 scenes because of the setback we had. So we got 13 of the 18 scenes done. Of the 40 plus shots, we got about 27 of them. I mean, if we would have gotten 27 of the 28 the day before, we would have been floored. So we did a lot. We did a lot in this
for day 2, but we still were behind. And then of the 55 minutes that we had for our stock in total, the 4 rolls, we had shot another 19 minutes. So it's like 40 minutes almost, or so, a little less than 40 minutes, 38 minutes that we had shot now and gone through for day 2 of our 4-day shooting. We had 17 minutes left of stock to shoot through.
It was a very real possibility that we were going to run out of film before the shoot ended.
I was in hopes that the film that I had ordered from Kodak was going to arrive at Tanner's doorstep and he was going to be able to find someone to get it up to us in Montana. But later we'd heard nothing come in, no updates on the order information. We didn't have tracking, and I just didn't know what we were gonna do.
And so Alex, myself, and Derek and Jordan, the kind of 2 producers, we had a table, sit down, and like a really serious discussion.
As someone who had now been convinced to get onto the ship of shooting with film, Jordan and I came back to Alex and Tanner and said, guys, we need to shoot the rest of this digitally.
It still bugs me to this day of hearing that. It was another gut punch to Alex and I, because this was almost like we're selling out on the dream a little bit, and I was upset, and I think Alex was even more upset.
Yeah, I was freaking pissed. This is gonna bring back bad memories.
I was upset at not getting the stock that we thought we were going to get. I was upset at myself for not planning better ahead of time. I was upset at all the renditions of the script that we did to make it from a 14 page to a 17 page script. We didn't budget for that. We budgeted for a 15 page script. So there's just felt like the dream that I was living and the miraculous things that were happening for this project were like dying.
There had been so much effort put into this. There had been so much energy and time. We were going down to LA and we're making this whole thing, and at the end of the day, we're gonna try to market this film, and a huge selling point of that is that we shot this on film. We shot this on camera. We went so out of our way to do this in this specific way. We can't only give in 50%.
But it was literally like the thing that I was making videos about, I was preparing for. I was so excited, and I was so excited to share with everyone, and I was going to tell them that we weren't going to shoot the whole film on film. It was actually going to be only half on film. It was a real gut punch. It was just like, no, absolutely not. We're not going to do that. And we had a little bit of a strong discussion, and it was really producers versus the creatives in the room.
It was sort of this friendly war, but it was a war between the producers and then the creatives. I knew that we were all creatives, but the producers had to be the producers, and we had to be, holding our integrity about what we thought was important for us.
I realized that it's going to be way better for us to not have to worry about film stock running out than it would be to truly capture this all on film stock.
And that's what they kept pushing. Like, that's more important than anything else, right, Tanner? And I had to say yes to that. I could not put this much money into it or have people have money into this, having the film commission, and not have a finished product. So that was kind of and as we looked more and more at it, what we had to do, how we could change things, and what we saw, what we can serve today, we had a much clearer picture about where we're going to end up. We were going to run out. We were going to be short.
So it was hard. There were some tears, and there was some there was never any yelling, but there was definitely a little bit of verbal contention, we'll say, about the decision. But by the end of day 2, we realized, in the event that the Kodak film stock is likely not coming these next 2 days, we have to shoot digital.
I think Alex didn't want to admit it. I think he was very much more stern about it than even I was. And I think he was mad at the fact that we had written more to the project, and he just did not think that the additions were maybe necessary.
Initially, this was like a 14, 15 page script, but now we're working with like a 20 page script. That's a lot more film to shoot. That's a lot more stuff needed. How are we supposed to shoot this thing, get it all done, when there's all these extra plot lines and storylines going and being added, when I'm just trying to get a film that's simple to shoot, simple to do, straight in the can, done, and we can work with that story and find it later in post, because I'm here to shoot this thing on film. That's what I, paid all this money to come up from Arizona for. And I didn't come to shoot a film on the Red. I'm here to shoot it on this beautiful Arri Flex SR2. And there was so much attention on every setup that we had. We knew that it's like, look, you got one take to get this, don't mess it up. And it felt so, it was so invigorating every single take. Every time you cut, it was like this massive air, like, we got it, let's move on. And I didn't want to lose that.
I was trying to convince Tanner that he should do something like this for the project itself, to where he could shoot digitally, convert it to film stock, and then scan it back to digital, or he could just get a really good colorist in there and make it look good.
Personally, this is just me. I know that people have feelings about film emulation or whatever. It's not the same. I don't think it's the same. I think there's so many nuances when it comes to, of course, performance for everyone involved on the actual production, but the way that the film captures the light and the highlights. I've always looked at a film emulation, and I've been able to detect this is an emulation. This is not actually film. And I think maybe I have been fooled, but I had thought about this on the drive up to Montana. I thought, if we were gonna run out of film, what would be, our backup plan? And I thought the best idea was to use it in a storytelling way, that we have these two different timelines. We have this period piece, and then we have this contemporary modern day part, and to separate those two with the formats that we're shooting on. And so, anything that was done in the period time, which we'd only shot up to this point, was going to be shot on film, and anything that was shot with our character in the modern day, we could shoot that digitally. And so, being able to have a story point with that was something that came to my mind, and I knew that that was probably the best option. And at the end of the day, we all wanted to make something that was awesome, a great story that we felt passionate about, and some sacrifices just had to be made. And unfortunately, having the film shot 100% on 16 was what had to be sacrificed.
He was pretty upset that night, we shared the same room, and we went to bed, and he was just like not saying much that night. Alex didn't say much anyways, but that night it was even more. I just told Alex, let's just think of this, what remaining, 17 minutes of film we have, let's kind of have this be like our large format, our IMAX images that we were going to be shooting. We need to be precious with it, but we need to really determine right now, of the shots we have remaining, we need to figure out which ones for the story that are integral to the, and that we really want to have done in film, and the other ones that aren't as essential, we can revert to shooting digitally. We're still making film number one. Film is still our most important format here, and it's going to be the majority of the film, but it is kind of sad to say it won't be the entire film. It's still, honestly, to this day, it still kind of stings to say that. It's still to say that it's not entirely shot on film. I even thought about these videos not talking about this portion, because it was kind of I was ashamed to say that we're shooting digitally on this. I thought, what a better way for us to educate not only ourselves, but a potential future YouTube audience in doing both formats in this sense, not just comparing one to the other, but literally in a project that's actually more than just a test, an actual with actors and props, sets, and to see just aesthetically how it comes off of one versus the other. We were gonna have to match at times where we were gonna be one shot we already did on film, we were gonna have to match it to shooting it the next day on digital, and then it'd go back to film again. Expect more videos to come along where we're gonna be diving into that a little bit more for this project, and to see the difference in the film emulation process and everything under the sun. Day 2 was another up and down day. A lot of great things happened, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of really scary things happened too. What we're looking at now is we're looking to step into day 3, and I feel like we still were closer. We were closer, but we still were so far away from getting caught up. at the end of day 3, we're going to know whether or not we're going to finish this film, is what we basically figured out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. I know these are kind of long, but I just really want to give as much insight as possible for the behind the scenes of this project. Stay tuned for the next one. Hopefully get it out here soon, and I look forward to see you on day 3. I'll catch you on the next one.